All right, so Randy, it's nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Your business is right here.
It is.
That's the back entrance to your business. What's your business?
It's Cake Hair Salon.
Cake Hair Salon. All right. I know of you well, and I know some of your clients. So people always have a lot of good things to say about you, but they also talk about what you're facing here in the neighborhood of your business.
Yeah,
What's all this garbage from?
It's from homeless parties. They're transients that use this alleyway as a perfect place to celebrate and party at night. It's a nice and private, so we'll pull in and out of the parking lot, and you never know what you're going to see as you're moving along here. Sometimes it's people shooting up. Sometimes it's people using it as if it's their restroom.
So
you just never know.
So there are obviously no safe public attended toilets in this neighborhood?
No, definitely not, as you can see from along here.
This is human excrement?
Yes, it is. And we asked the city to remove that for us, but they haven't really been on top of that. They're not very good about it.
And when you say that, you're talking about it's a common occurrence that you find human excrement?
They do it all the time. I would say in the last month, we've probably had 5 different piles of it around back here.
Okay, and so they have a private company they contract with to come out and pick it up, right?
Yes.
Have you heard of how much that costs?
Yes, it's $90 an hour for them to come clean up poop. And for a while, if it was in our parking lot instead of on the street, instead of on public property, they would say they would split the cost with any business owner that wanted their help. So we'd only have to pay $45 an hour for them to come out and clean the transients' poop out of our parking lots.
Oh, let me ask you about this. This is, okay, so this is adjacent to the alley. You're basically the driveway into your business, correct?
Yes.
Oh, let me ask you about this gate. Did you have to put that gate in?
We did. Spent a whole lot of money because they loved to go into our private parking lot and do everything you could possibly imagine. There were 6 or 8 different times that people were having sex in the parking lot right underneath a sign that said, "Smile, you're on camera."
What did the gate cost you?
It was 17 grand.
$17,000?
And best money I've spent in years, just for the peace of mind and to not have those issues happening in my parking lot, so my employees can feel safe.
So people aren't hanging out in your parking lot anymore, but they're parking out, but they're hanging out here just beyond your parking lot.
Yes, they are. There's a 1/3 of an acre lot right here that's vacant, and about a month ago they lit it on fire with one of their parties. Don't know exactly what happened, but you can see the fire department had to cut open the gate so they could get in and put it out.
So this fence was cut by the fire department to get in to put out a fire?
Yes. So
how many fires have been lit here in, say, the last 6 months?
In the last 1 month, there have been 7.
In 1 month?
In 1 month, 7. So beyond that, I can't count that high, but it's a constant issue. So before that big hole was in the fence, the way that the transients would get in and out of that private lot was here. So they're constantly ripping open new holes in this fence. Then it gets patched over and fixed, and then they just do it again. So they love to live here behind these trees, and you can see they've lit the trees on fire twice. You know, there are shot needles everywhere.
So as have firefighters had to come here and put out these fires?
Yes, they did. They had to dig away underneath the tree there about a foot or a foot and a half in. Now it's been filled back in with dirt, but there's a great big cavity there from where the last fire was in that tree.
So no reason for the fires other than just malicious destruction of property?
That would be my guess. I don't know. Maybe they were using them as cooking fires, but my guess is just for fun.
Is this more human extra? No, that's asphalt. Okay. So, okay, we're walking over. Looks like there was well, more than one. When was this fire in the
This was this last Saturday.
parking lot?
There
So
was
what were they burning?
a whole cart full of belongings, lots of plastic, rubber, anything you could imagine was in that cart, what's usually in carts. And
It wasn't keep them warm because we've been having
No.
over 100-degree weather.
Exactly. So as chunks would fall down, then they would kick it around the parking lot, and they ended up burning some of the soffit and fascia here on this building that's vacant right now.
And that had to be torn down by the firefighters to make sure there weren't any live embers.
I think so. Yep. And then later in the same day, just this last Saturday, another fire over here of other people burning random belongings. I'm not sure why that's a fun thing to do.
All right, did you call the police?
Both times, yes.
And did they come?
This time they did. That time they did. I would say it's about 50-50 whether cops will come or not.
And do they ever make an arrest?
There was one person they arrested, and they said she'll never bother you again, but she was right back out within 24 hours to bother us every day since and yell at my employees and be aggressive toward everyone, just trying to pull into our parking lot, which is a private parking lot for employees, and we don't feel safe going in and out.
Is this woman you described without some of her clothing?
Yep.
Could you describe that?
So one time as we were driving into work, she was in the alleyway with only a shirt on, nothing else, just casually walking down the alleyway like nothing was strange, and she was with two men as they were walking their way back out of the alleyway. Didn't hide, just walked unashamedly on by with a smile on her face.
And this is the one person that the police have arrested, but she was released and back to where she was before.
Yes, and when she was arrested, they said it was on an unrelated issue. So I don't know why she was arrested. They were looking for her and a man that she had been with, and I don't know why.
So, have you seen people shooting up heroin here?
Constantly. I would say maybe 4 times a month there's someone shooting up in the alleyway when we drive by.
And have you called the police when you see them shooting up?
We have, and they do a great job of coming out when they can, but they have a lot going on, so they make it out 25 to 50% of the time there's an issue like that. And when they do, all they do is get the person to leave. They don't ever arrest them. They just ask them to
That's what I was
move
going to
on.
ask. They don't make an arrest.
No. So it means that the next day the same person might be right back there shooting up heroin yet again.
Do you get a sense that there's a feeling of that people can do basically whatever they want to do and there are not going to be any consequences?
If you're a transient, absolutely. For the rest of us, we definitely need to follow the rules. I called and said I needed some help with this woman that was living in our alleyway. There were 20 needles around her in a circle, and all of her belongings. She wouldn't move so we could pull in and out of the alleyway. I called the cops yesterday and I said, I really need you to come out here and get her to move along. This is our 11th time calling about her and she's still here. And I said, if you don't go out and ask her to leave, I'm going to need to go out and ask her to leave.
So you'd called repeatedly and nobody ever came out?
I did, and they told me that I shouldn't make threats on a recorded line. I said, that's not making a threat. That's saying I'm going to go out and talk to her, which is what you should be doing. I'm going to have to do it myself because you're not, but last time I heard it was legal to go out and tell someone they needed to move. Why is my activity illegal or threatening, but her shooting up in the alley and blocking it so we can't come in and out is her right?
Has anybody ever told you that the police have been instructed that if crime is being committed by people who are homeless, or if you use the word transients, that the police are to leave them alone?
Yes, I was specifically told that they have been asked not to mess with them and to just leave them alone, to allow them to be. So if we had issues and we said it was a transient or we said it was a homeless camp or anything like that, we would have a police officer call us and talk to us on the phone and listen to the whole story and say they would do what they could, and nothing happened. And we went through it for about 3 months, and finally a cop came and said off the record he would talk to me and told me that the issue was I was saying that it was transients or homeless people or camps, and I needed to skip that. So ever since then, when I've called, I just say we have someone shooting up heroin in our alley, and that they can send people out for, but they couldn't if they were saying it was a transient.
This was a police officer that told you that is the policy.
That's what a police officer told me.
And
yes,
you understand that's
policy.
coming then from the mayor?
To my understanding, yes. So what you
Since the
permit,
chief-
you promote. So if they can be lawless, then what it encourages is more lawless behavior, and I think that's exactly what we're seeing.
And Randy, you seem like a really ambitious guy. I've seen your salon. It's amazing. Has this impacted your employees and your customers?
Absolutely. We've had them come in and literally attack us inside the building.
Wait, you've had people who are here
Yes.
currently experiencing homelessness